All right, Miss Keisha. So it's so nice to have you here. We already chatted a little bit, but just to get the audience warmed up on who you are, can you kind of explain who you are, what your brand is, and kind of a little bit about how you got started?
Yes. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. I'm really
Mhm.
excited to be with you tonight. I am Keisha Youngblood, the designer and founder of Modish Swank Clothing Company. And that name kind of came from my love of, I'm very, very kind of simple in how I dress, just kind of modern, but then I like to also be very edgy. So it's a merging between both worlds. As you can kind of see, my brand was established in 2017. I did runway for Dallas, Austin, New York, London, and Paris. So I kind of had like this whirlwind flow in a couple years, kind of more outside of the Dallas market initially, and then kind of took a break with COVID. And so it's been about 6 years, and now I'm trying to really come back and really establish myself here in Dallas locally where I am and really kind of get the brand off the ground.
Okay, great. So do you feel like in that time that you've sort of been resetting that your brand philosophy, the reason your why and why you are designing has stayed consistent, or do you feel like you've grown in any way?
I would say I honestly feel like I've grown because when you think of everything we start when we establish, especially for us, like I kind of have funded myself in
Mhm.
my brand. So going from that, I think when I kind of took that break away, it really was to understand, okay, how do I now establish my brand locally and globally and make residual income
Mhm.
from the brand? Like, what do we need to do? And I feel like in all those battles of the last 6 years of like, I'm quitting, I'm not going to do it. I can't do it, but it's like I can't quit because I love it so much. I
Hold
think all that, yeah, like don't go. But all that back and forth internal fighting and the growth that I have made, and I can look back over the years and see, well, okay, yeah, you weren't really ready yet. I think it has heightened the hunger
on.
even more now. The love is there even more now. I think I'm more confident in me. So
Mm.
I think that also is elevating how I'll design going forward with just how much I've grown.
Okay. Yeah, that is so powerful because I think people, from what we see on Instagram and TikTok are, a lot of the highs, but sometimes, you have those little doubts that creep in every so often, and especially with it being um, a creative, uh, you know, a creative blessing that you have. You also, when you have doubts, you lose the creativity sometimes. So it's like you
Yeah.
got to bring back the confidence, but then you also got to bring back the actual creativity and come up with great things. So you
Yes,
feel
you
like
said
you're,
something there
yeah.
because, like you said, as we go through, and then, when I took that break in 2019,
Mhm.
I didn't plan to be gone for 6 years, but then, we got hit with COVID, and there was just
Mhm.
so many world things we had going on as well as personal. So, like you said, when you have stuff start going on, it inundates and blocks your
Mhm.
creativity. Like you said, when you're doubting yourself, you're
Mhm.
not creative. So, I went through that for a few years actually
Mhm.
where I just wasn't feeling myself. Didn't really think I would do it. And then you kind of begin to see an explosion of Black designers and designers
Mhm.
that look like me. And then I'm in this place, so I'm like, oh no, I've missed the window. And it was like, no, God was like, no, I'm getting
Yeah.
you ready. And so, like I said,
Mhm.
I think for me, once I submitted to more to process and
Mhm.
understood that my time was coming, when it
Mhm.
was my time, take this time to hone in your skill, hone in your craft, understand what you want to do. Like I said again, that did so much for
Mhm.
my confidence and understanding you were given a gift for a reason. You can do this, be the best that you can be, and walk under that authority. And
Mhm.
that helped me in this preparation to come back.
Good. So explain to me that process of getting it back. Like, did you start small? Like, did you just, do a sketch a day and just kind of see how it feels? How did you get it back?
So it's exactly what you said. It was like, okay, dust the dirt off, blow the dust off the sketchbook.
Hmm.
And so I opened the sketchbook up and I would kind of begin to kind of sketch. And the creative process of a clothing line was kind of coming to me. So in my process, I'm a storyteller. You
Mm,
find that in a lot of the shows when I do fashion shows or just collections I like to put out in general. I love to tell a story through the collection. So it was like the story downloaded in my head. Well, once it's in my head, I can't turn it off
mm-hmm,
until I get it out. So that became the sketching and then the researching online, like what he was giving me, even with this collection. What does this mean? My new collection coming up, it's called The Journey of Perseverance. And
mm,
it's so interesting how, you hear that and it's like, okay, I think I'm literally walking out the story of this collection. So then I'm online, like researching what does perseverance mean? What
mm,
color represents perseverance? So, like you said, I think going through that deep dive kept initiating the fire and then that confidence in trusting myself and what I knew this time. I would just get in my studio and just kind of to start to create. I think also putting yourself in the lane because even when I wasn't creating, I had a door open where I had the opportunity to begin to dress a friend that was on a podcast. So I
mm,
would literally was just dressing her in some of my older pieces that
mm,
were from my 2018, 2019 collection. But that started to create the fire like, okay, I'm ready to create something new
mhm.
and really get back to it. I think you just have to enthrone yourself in that thing that you're supposed to do by any means to kind of get you back on track.
Yes, yes. Okay, that is so powerful. And I'm sure so many people are going to identify. I've already talked to another designer who, said like I had to take a year off, you know?
Mhm.
So sometimes you just need it. So,
We
okay.
do.
So now that you're in this new season,
Yes.
um, what what are you excited about? Like with your new collection?
So the thing I'm excited about, this collection that I'll be introducing at my fashion show this Saturday really is the first one that I've done that's truly ready to wear. I love couture, so some of my pieces have lended themselves more to couture or doing like a lot of handwork detail and all of that.
Hmm.
And this time around, I was like, okay, one time wise, I was like, we can't get that in depth into the handwork. We'll save that for later. But what I did do is I wanted to focus more on a collection that was more ready to wear. So a lot more of your kind of everyday, more simple
Mm,
pieces, but
okay.
done really beautifully like I
Hmm.
like to do. So I'm really excited to kind of show this collection that kind of gives you a little bit of that elevated couture side of me. But the pieces are really simple pieces that you can put in your closet and wear to work, wear to a brunch. They translate to different places and eras.
Hmm. Awesome. So, so what would you say is kind of your signature piece, if you have one?
So, that's a hard
Oh,
one.
'cause they're all your babies. They're all your
I'm a
babies.
vintage baby too, so I love like I'm the vintage girl that loves to kind of give you
Mhm.
those pieces from the 50s and 60s. I guess right now you could say my statements more so have been like your dresses.
Okay.
Is kind of a big statement for me. There are a lot more dresses in this collection. I didn't even do as many pants in this particular one, but that's almost even hard because I think I've evolved
Hmm.
even in that. So I think like I've created this first collection that I love coming back, but then I'm still evolving. So I think you're going to get a whole different side in the next collection because I'm still kind of evolving even more. So that's a stay tuned question.
Okay. That's a volume
So,
two.
yes, that's
Okay.
volume two.
All right. Well, I love that. And have you found that so again, kind of coming back after a little hiatus, have you found that your audience has also stayed pretty much the same for you, or do you feel like you've maybe uh, changed that audience that would be receptive to you?
So what's so interesting, I think the first time around, because it was such kind of this quick 2 year whirlwind, I feel like almost as if I'm reintroducing myself.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
some people that follow me, of course, are still there, but I'm having this new crowd that's evolving because I still feel like it's almost like I'm starting for the first time.
Hmm.
There's not a lot of people that really know me. I feel like other than those that were close, or
Hmm.
going to those runway shows outside of time. So it almost feels like this new opportunity to kind of introduce myself to the world almost for the first time.
Yeah, but much wiser.
Yes, much
So
wiser,
much
much more
wiser.
clarity.
Yeah.
Work ethic is different. Now,
Hmm.
like I said, I can look back over those years and was just this bright-eyed, bushy-tailed young designer, coming in, still not knowing a lot, because oftentimes, even from the business side, we're not always given that blueprint of like the business
Right.
for the
Hmm.
steps you need to take. And then again, like I said, funding wasn't really there. So I was funding myself. So I
Hmm.
feel like I just kind of got my feet wet the
Hmm.
first time, whereas this time I'm coming back with a plan. Like I have a plan in place
Yes.
for getting funding. Like I'm really focusing
Hmm.
on starting my mass production company and being able to
Hmm.
produce in-house. So like you said, being
Great.
wiser, I'm taking those steps, even reaching
Hmm.
out to you guys and really trying to put my blueprint in, letting people know that I am here and up and coming here in the Dallas area.
Yes. Okay. So you're really starting to talk my language. I started out in technical design, so that manufacturing side is very near and dear.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this manufacturing side
Okay.
because we know that that is a big barrier for people.
Hmm.
So whether you've got designers who have never sewn before, so they have these great ideas, they don't know how to execute them, or you've got the barrier of, minimums, and of course, like that capital in order to produce
Hmm.
and manufacture. So, just having some type of access here,
Hmm.
which we do have a few places for sure, especially in Dallas. Um, where do you think your new venture or the venture that you're kind of going into with manufacturing, where do you think that will make the biggest impact for independent designers?
Well, I think that's going to be an impact because, like you said, one of the big issues with us and production is it's so expensive. That was
Right.
one of the main issues why the first time around I can produce. I remember calling and trying to get just one outfit produced, and they was like, "Oh yeah, it's going to be $10,000 for the
Mhm.
shirt and $10,000 for the pants," and I was like. So I'm going to spend $20,000 and get 10 units. I'm like, I can't do that yet. So
Right.
again, like you said, we have it to where we're either sewing ourselves or you're trying to find a seamstress. And one of the things that I'm realizing is I'm finding it harder to find the seamstress. Now
Yes,
they're
the
not as
skill, the skill is,
available.
is leaving us,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
it
Yes.
is. And I ran into a lady at the fabric store that she was just mentioning. She uses a tailor that she has gotten older and no
Mhm.
longer does it. And I'm
Mhm.
like, wow, that generation of those, seamstress,
Yeah.
like they are going away. But I have some few nuggets back there, some things I'm working on down the line. Like I have a vision to in the future open a sewing school.
Mhm.
But it's not just for seamstresses, it's for pattern makers, cutters,
Mhm.
graders, because you need all of those things
Exactly.
in a mass production company. I hope to be a trend and a barrier to help in the future because although I want to produce my clothes in house, I do want to produce for other brands and just be an in house manufacturer that produces for myself, but for others. But it's like right now, I'm doing that research on how can we truly start a mass production company, but really kind of make it affordable here
Mhm.
in the US so that it doesn't, cost you an arm and a leg to try to produce or producing smaller units of collections for independent designers. That's a really big thing for us
Mhm.
is the production side of trying to get that done, but it not costing you so much to produce your collection.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So, gosh, I'm just getting all giddy inside because I mean, so you talked about this. I'm a past designer. I've really been connecting with more of the sewing community within Dallas, which is actually very different than the fashion community. And I feel like it should be one of the same, but it's not necessarily. But there's so much crossover. Like, come on, everybody,
Yeah,
join
might just help me.
forces,
I can't find them anywhere, Eric.
join forces. But it's such a lost skill, and it's so important to
Mhm.
bring that back. If you can think about just where we are in this landscape of people losing jobs to big
Mhm.
corporations, there are some things that when you're working with your hands, you
Yes,
cannot take that away, right?
yes,
Uh,
yes.
so I feel very passionate about that myself, and
Mhm.
for fashion group generally, we're very big on working smarter,
Yeah.
being profitable, having like if you are a one of one designer, that's great, but how can we help you to scale?
Yes.
So, all of these conversations are important in order to, whatever your business model is,
Hmm.
it's just important to be able to give those different pathways. And the more
Right.
people like yourself who are willing to, build something, that can be in support of independent designers, it's just going to be, just
Yeah.
so needed.
And I also think in our
Mhm.
community, that was never anything that was really shown to us in our community
Yeah.
to become
Mhm.
seamstress, or shown that there actually is a career in being a seamstress or a pattern maker.
Mhm.
Like they really make
Mhm.
great money if
Oh yeah.
you're a
Mhm.
pattern maker, a cutter, a grader, a seamstress. So
Mhm.
I think also that also wasn't really, yes, like to our grandmothers and those back then generations that made their clothes, but overall in the scope of our generation, it's never really introduced to become an actual seamstress.
Exactly. Yes.
Like you said, it's almost a lost art, but it's one where I think we have the opportunity as fashion is shifting, and especially you're seeing more Black designers on
Mhm.
runways and on red carpets and really dominating, these spaces. It's definitely an opportunity to open that door and also have us dominate in that area of becoming those things. Just because designers, yeah, we're great, but like you said, those designers that don't sew, they need that great seamstress to
Mhm.
translate what their look is going to look like on the runway. So there's definitely a need there that I think we should definitely be capitalizing on.
Yes, yes. Okay. All right. So yes, that is so exciting. But okay, let's go. So back to your brand, your process, which I
Yes.
think is always quite interesting. Do you believe in I think I might know this answer just based on the fact that you do honor kind of the classicism of the 50s and the 60s and the actual tailored looks and everything.
Mhm.
So how do you feel like you reinvigorate that within your process?
Hmm. So within my process, one, I'm always researching, like I'm always looking at books and old movies and kind of looking at that style. But I think where I kind of really stick in it is the cuts. If you ever pay attention to how you cut something for the body, you could think it's the most simple thing, but where
Mm-hmm.
you put a line determines how something is going to be lengthened on a person. So I'm very particular about fabric. You'll find that
Mm-hmm.
about my brand. My process of picking fabric could be like a few hours in a fabric store because I'm very particular about every single detail of the stitching and the tailoring. So I really kind of dive down into even this collection now. I probably looked through over 1,000 fabrics before I even just narrowed down to 15, and then kind of really looking at the era and how do I want to bring it and show it today and what to kind of bring into it. I feel like the mode of how we view sexy has changed a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm one of those girls that I'm for a good put a full dress on and just have a little peekaboo of the back out.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's all sides of what sexy looks like. And I'm having that opportunity to kind of show that within bringing an old vintage era into
Mm-hmm.
where we are now.
Okay. This is exciting. Yeah, can't wait to see it. So you talked about a fashion show this
Yes.
upcoming weekend.
Yes.
Okay. So we would really love to, get that out to the world for you. So definitely
Yes,
put
they still
that.
have tickets on sale. It is
Yes.
a brand called Runway 817. They are
Oh,
a
yes. Yes.
Yes, they're a fashion
Mhm.
brand out of Fort Worth.
Okay.
And the show will
Great.
be in the stockyards this Saturday. They're really trying to bring fashion to Fort Worth
Hmm.
because they was like Dallas is kind of established, the different cities are kind of established.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
after meeting with them, I love what their brand represented. I think they're really here, like me and you have talked for the designer and really trying to
Hmm.
help the designers make residual income. So I'm excited to kind of come back this year with this particular group.
Yes, yeah, yeah. I know some Ford Fashion Group folks will be there, so excited.
Yay.
I unfortunately have to work, but But I'm excited to kind of see the, whatever the reels and everything afterward,
Mhm.
and really excited to maybe catch up with you to see, kind of post
Yes.
relaunch,
Yes.
what life is looking like. So maybe a few months down the road, it'd be great to kind of catch up there.
Yeah, I
So
would love to. And I'm also
yeah.
planning for those anybody that can't make it. I am planning with the team to go live
Oh,
once
great.
the show starts to kind of drive traffic,
Hmm.
increase traffic to the page. So we'll be posting more about that. But we are planning to go live when when my runway show actually goes, so you can see some of
Hmm.
it in person while it's live on the runway.
Okay, okay. All right. So what are some of your big goals for this collection? Do you have any do you have any like financial targets, which you don't have to share? But just again, thinking through, like, if someone's watching this, they've never launched anything. As a designer, you're putting something on the runway. Of course, you want some type of return
Hmm.
on your investment. So, what are
Yeah.
those like big hopes that you have coming out of presenting on a runway such as that, and then
Yes.
bring it out into the world?
So my hope with this collection, like I said, being the first collection that's really ready to wear, is of course that it sells and
Yes.
I get it on people. The cool thing about it is, in being smart, is it won't be available right after the show. It is a spring summer collection.
Mm-hmm.
And with production and getting it produced, we'll start taking pre-orders March 1st, and we'll actually start delivering the pieces on April 30th. So you got that little anticipation. But
Mm-hmm.
my hope is to really kind of finally get it out there, get people wearing my brand, see how they love it. I know in the shows I've been in, I love to see the models get in the clothes and just kind of transform
Mm-hmm.
and love what they have on, and my clients that have also worn the pieces. So I just have a love to see people smile, see people
Mm-hmm.
love what they have on. So it is my hope that orders come in and people start posting and tagging, and I just get to
Mm-hmm.
see them in all the wonderful pieces.
Yes. One trick. Actually, my co-founder Hazel, she has this amazing mentor, Brandis Daniels. I don't know if you know who
Yes,
she
I
is.
love her, and we're actually from the same city. I can't
Oh,
wait to meet. I was going to have an opportunity to meet her at an Austin fashion show, and I didn't. Something happened, and they didn't have it, so
mm.
I didn't end up getting to meet her. But she is on my list of somebody that I want to meet. Is Brandon Dance, because we're both from Memphis, Tennessee.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So she is Hazel's mentor, and
Wow.
she said she gave us a really good trick when we were, really bugging about our show and like, oh my gosh, are we going to sell enough tickets? All those is you basically have a conversation with yourself about how it went. So
Okay.
what you say to yourself is, someone asks, and you can say it out loud, to someone else, to, anybody, but these future you. If I were to ask, so how did your sales go after your show with Runway 817? And then you answer, and it's basically manifestation,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, I
Bring
love
it
it.
bring it to life. So
I love.
have a conversation a few times, you
Okay.
know
I love that. I'm
leading
going to
up.
do that.
Yes. And I'll tell you that it worked for us. We were very happy with the results.
Wow, that's so awesome. That is so awesome.
Yes.
I
Yes.
love that little. I'm gonna hold on to that.
Yes, just a little tip. So, all right. Well, is there anything else you would like to share with the Forward community? Any ways that we can specifically support you?
No, just go out and follow. My page is Modish and Swank on Instagram. Just stay tuned for all the things that are coming. Like I said, I do plan to, of course, give more clothes, but I do have a big love to be even more in the fashion industry, with kind of, shifting where we are and doing other things. But just to go like the page, check out the show if you can come Saturday, get tickets and come. They even have a 35% off coupon right now on the ticket
Mhm.
sales. If not, just check out all the pictures after, like and share.
Okay. Okay. So this might be posted a little after. So we'll
Okay.
see if we can, just send a quick
Gotcha. Okay.
little post and we'll try we'll get something out there for you. So
Gotcha. Well, it has been a pleasure, Erica.
yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. So
Um,
nice to meet you. And I'm sure
yes,
we
I
will
hope we
see a
can
lot
meet.
more. Oh yes, for
Yes,
sure.
ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good luck this weekend and can't wait to see everything. I guess I'll see it on Sunday.
Yes. Talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks so much. Take care.
Thank you. Bye bye.